Hello guys, and welcome to another video. And we've got a week or so until we get the patch notes for Trial of the Ancestors, so we've got a little bit of a wait to go. But we do have some information that we received from the actual announcement reveal at ExileCon, and of course we're probably going to be getting a little trickle of teasers until then. And one of the things that was actually announced on the stage at ExileCon was some of the new keystones, the Atlas passive keystones that are coming to the game, which is going to continue to build on the end game, which is great. I think anything that continues to improve the end game in Path of Exile is always a bonus. And one of those keystones that we're going to be talking about today is Lucid Dreams. Now, this is a keystone which is going to allow you to modify Vow side areas in your maps, and it does that by making them appear non-corrupted. So usually, as a Vow side area would appear in your map, is corrupted, you can't modify it, and the modifiers are already on there, and you might have some really bad modifiers, so you can't run it, or you just go in there and run it. Maybe it's an easy spawn, but this keystone will make them spawn in a way that they're no longer corrupted, and then you can actually modify them and roll the mods on these Vow side areas. Now, Vow side areas in general are one of those things in the game where you can go in there and farm them early for things like early 6 links in a league. You can get Vow gems from there as well. You can get the fragments to farm at Zeri early, for example. And in general, they're just a nice bit of extra experience early on in a league. You just go in there and go and farm some extra mobs. But in general, the system hasn't really been expanded on too much, especially not recently, and this looks like it's actually going to expand it quite a bit, because we got a little preview of what you can actually roll on these Vow side areas, and one of the things that really popped out to me is that there is a mod that allows you to drop an ultimatum aspect. Now, this is one of the aspects that you need to use to craft the Tower of Ordeal's unique map. That's the ultimatum boss. That's the one where you go in and fight the Trial Master. That's this guy right here. And the Ultimatum Trial Master drops some really good unique items. Some of them are very, very rare. And here's the list of items that he actually drops. These percentages are crowdsourced, but I think they're probably quite accurate because there is a lot of data there. And these drop rates might not be exact, but they're probably quite close. And so, Hateforge, probably around a 1% drop. And we've also got the Mahuzotul's Machination at 5%. Those are the two kind of big ticket drops. And I think what's really, really interesting about this boss, though, is it's not necessarily that you have to run the boss yourself and get lucky. Actually, people pay a lot for this map. Now, I actually think that this keystone is going to be really nice for both Trade League and SSF. So, first of all, for Trade League, this map is very expensive. And one of the reasons why it's really expensive is because one of the aspects comes from a Vow Delve boss. And that's the only way that you can get it. So you've got people in the league that are running Delve, specifically farming that boss to be able to farm this token and sell it. And if you're playing SSF, assembling a full set of an ultimatum aspects to be able to get this Tower of Ordeal's map is actually quite difficult. You need to get, first of all, you need to get quite lucky in Delve to actually find the boss itself. And the rest of the stuff is more straightforward, like you can actually target farm the stuff. You still have to get it to drop though, obviously. Whereas if you're in trade, you can obviously buy all the bits, but it is going to be quite expensive. Once you assemble this map, you're going to be able to sell it for several divines if you wanted to, maybe 3, 4, 5 divines, depending on the time of the league and how far the league has progressed and things like that. And of course, if you wanted to, you could run the map and see if you get lucky. If you do get lucky, Hateforge, 1% drop rate, you're probably going to be looking at 200, 300 divines, something like that. And the Mahuzotul's Machination Shield is probably going to be around 10 divines early on in the league, maybe 15 divines, then it's going to go down from there, maybe sort of 8 divines-ish, something like that. And the rest of the drops are decently priced early on, and they get a lot cheaper as the league progresses, because people are farming this boss to be able to get those big ticket items, which means there's a lot of those common items flooding the market. And I think this is going to be a pretty fun strategy to be able to go for, whether you want to do it in Trade League to make a lot of currency, or whether you want to do it in SSF because you want to try to farm the Trial Master boss. Let's say you want to try and go for a Mahuzotul's Machination in SSF and make a build around it. Well, this might be your way to actually be able to more easily farm ultimatum bosses and reliably go for that Trial Master boss. And one of the wheels on the Atlas tree is actually a higher spawn rate for Vow side areas. I think it's the only wheel on the tree. And this is the wheel here. It's right in the middle, just to the left of the middle of the Atlas tree. And it's for Love of the Queen. Vow side areas in your maps have 20% chance to be an alluring vow side area. And your maps have plus 4% chance to contain a vow side area. And there's 3 small nodes before this one. They each have 2%. So this will give you a total of 10% chance to contain a vow side area. And the alluring vow side area is actually a little bit more difficult of a vow side area, but the end chest drops a mortal fragment, and mortal fragments are obviously access to the Uber Azeri fight. And the other way that you can guarantee a vow side area is via the map device craft. That actually drops very rarely from the Shaping of the Skies Atlas passive tree notable. I think it's a 3% chance to drop one of these map device crafts, and one of those can actually be the alluring vow side area modifier, which will actually make an alluring vow side area appear in your map whenever you select that option. So I think there's actually quite a lot of juice there to be had with this one, where you can just kind of farm the vow side areas. Whenever you find one in your maps, you roll it until it has the ultimatum aspect. I don't know how common that modifier is going to be. Obviously, in the little bit that we saw, I think it was 3 or 4 Chaos Orbs were used on it, and then it was there. But it's hard to say in practice how common this modifier is going to appear on vow side areas. And also, you have to remember that the weighting of ultimatum aspects will be present, just like how they are for the vow fragments when they drop from the chest. You know, you don't get midnight very often. Most of the time you get the other ones. So the ultimatum aspects will be weighted based on their drop chance in the other areas of the game. But I still think this is going to be a way to more easily access the ultimatum Trial Master boss fight. And definitely something that you can go for in the league. As I say, I play SSF. I'm going to be trying this strategy out to see how reliable you can actually get the ultimatum aspects in this league, as I'd love to drop a Mahu Zotel's Machination and actually make a build around that. And yeah, I think this is really cool. This is a great addition to the game. I think the ultimatum aspects in general are a little bit annoying to obtain at the moment. And even though the Trial Master boss fight probably should be rare, because the uniques that are gated behind that boss fight are very, very powerful, I'd like to see more access for this, or more like farmable methods to actually be able to obtain this, because getting lucky in Delve and finding the boss is a little bit annoying. And obviously not everyone wants to actually play Delve, and so that's why the people who are farming Delve in any given league are farming that to find the boss, and then they get the juicy payoff if they actually find that aspect and they can sell it to other players. So yeah, that's one of the keystones that I think is really interesting. I think it's great for both Trade League and SSF. So I'm going to be doing a few other videos like this for the other Atlas keystones that are being added. I think we know of 5, and I think there's a total of 16 being added. So there's another 11 that we've got to see just yet. But I'm sure we'll be getting some teasers for those in the upcoming days. So yeah, what do you guys think of this strategy? Do you think you'll be targeting vow side areas to try and farm these ultimatum aspects? Let me know down in the comment section below. And as always, stay tuned and stay safe.